Okay, let's get across today's headlines with Sky News senior reporter and presenter Caroline Marcus. Great to see you, Caroline. Now, the Prime Minister has made an announcement today.
He has, and this was an announcement that he made in the Cook Islands. He's over there for the Pacific Islands Forum, of course. But, Erin, he's announced a historic deal that Australia has struck with the Pacific Island nation of Tuvalu. Now, that's a small combination of islands. It's home to around 11,000 people, but it's one of the lowest lying sea level islands in the world, so it is particularly vulnerable to rising sea levels. And he's announced this historic deal. It's going to be a visa arrangement where up to 280 people from Tuvalu will be able to come to Australia every year to work, study or live as climate refugees, essentially. Here's the Prime Minister.
The most significant agreement between Australia and a Pacific Island nation ever. Australia commits to provide assistance to Tuvalu in response to a major natural disaster, to a health pandemic, or to military aggression.
This partnership stands as a beacon of hope. The dedication of Australia to supporting the people of Tuvalu.
Now, as he touched on there, it's not just climate change, it's also military aggression. And in particular, the words that aren't being said, China. A big part of this forum is Australia trying to minimise or curb the Chinese influence over the region. And Tuvalu has been no exception to that. The Chinese have approached that country to set up diplomatic relations, but they've already got diplomatic relations with Taiwan, which makes them potentially a target for any future aggression. So this deal will be significant on that front as well.
I've got a fascinating interview with a Solomon Islands politician, the son of one of their first prime ministers, talking about China and hypocrisy. You've got to watch it. It's fascinating. So sad. Johnny Ruffo, this broke my heart today seeing this news. He was such a favourite of so many young Australians in particular who watch things like The X Factor and Neighbours.
Yeah, this is terribly tragic, Erin. Johnny Ruffo, he's only 35 years old, and it's been announced through his Instagram page that he has sadly died from his battle with brain cancer. Now, he was first diagnosed with brain cancer back in 2017, and then he was diagnosed again for a second time in 2020, an exceptionally cruel disease, of course. He had a brain tumour that was 7 centimetres, and he underwent chemotherapy. He battled it all the way, and today he's been remembered as cheeky and charming, and for all the joy that he brought his loved ones and his many fans. He's been remembered by some fellow stars, including the former Spice Girl Mel B, who was the judge on X Factor when he was a contestant. She wrote that her heart just broke on learning the news, just tragically taken too young.
Oh, it's awful. And he was still right up until the very end trying to spread the message and spread awareness. So we're thinking of all of his family. Just quickly, Israel's agreed to begin a daily 4-hour pause. What's this about? Well,
this is a pause, Erin. That is, it is essential to make the distinction between a ceasefire, which Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said would not happen. Well, not at least until Hamas releases all the hostages, and it's got 240 hostages there. Now it's said that it will agree to 4-hourly pauses every day so that Gazan civilians can get from the north of Gaza to the south, where there are safe zones set up by the Israeli military. Now, this would allow them time to move while Israel continues its attacks on Hamas targets and militants and tries to free the hostages there. The only issue, Erin, will be, will Hamas abide by this pause? Will they continue to set up road obstacles, blocking civilians, as we know that they do, from fleeing those areas and essentially trapping them as human shields? Will they attack and shoot at civilians when they do try to leave during these pauses and then blame Israel for them, which we've seen happen? So it's very well to set up these pauses, but what will it look like in reality? Meanwhile, the ground offensive continues. Israel says that it has been successful so far, but we still see hundreds of hostages there. At the moment, there are 2 in particular, a 76-year-old woman and a 12-year-old boy, where terrorists from Islamic Jihad say they're prepared to release those hostages with certain conditions. But what those conditions are and whether it will be feasible for Israel to agree to them remains to be seen.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, particularly seeing how that little boy's face has changed in the months since he's been taken. It is unimaginable. Caroline Marcus, thank you so much. Appreciate it.